concerned. And now, like Robert has said, this is a very special announcement. And as you're aware, the Radical New Bar Governing Council is always working day and night in trying to further our mandate under the Uganda Society Act in protecting every citizen, every human being, and as far as their rights are concerned. And I come here on a very interesting note where very, very grave developments are happening in our country and across. And we as the Uganda Society, as the Radical New Bar, we felt we need to take action, which is very important and necessary. And I have a press statement to that effect, which I'll read it verbatim. But the title is that this is another fine mess, USA-Uganda dehumanizing deportation agreement, which is since challenged in court. As you're aware, a few months back, we heard of attempts by the Trump government talking about deporting people from the US soil and dump them in any other country that is willing. You may also have followed that some nations rejected this, but our lovely Uganda welcomed this with open arms. And we could have thought it was just news, we could have thought it was just rumor, but I'm here to confirm to you that it's happening. And we can't let this happen under our watch. And this is our press statement, it's dated today, Kampala, Uganda, 2nd April 2026. The Uganda Law Society and East Africa Law Society have learnt about an advanced plot to forcibly remove, that is in the name of deportation, 12 people from the United States and effectively dump them in Uganda through an undignified, harrowing, and dehumanizing process that has reduced them to little more than chattel for the benefit of unnamed private interests on either side of the Atlantic. There are specific individuals benefiting from this action in as far as money exchanging hands is concerned. We have been informed that the privately owned aircraft carrying the deportees is or will soon be airborne and will be touching down at Entebbe International Airport today. In fact, as I speak, it could have landed, it could have arrived, because this is information we got yesterday, and intelligence discovered that these people are en route through rare routes to ensure that they get here. Now, our research indicates that none of the mandated institutions, such as the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control, the Parliament of Uganda, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, have been engaged regarding this matter. Moreover, no policy document or legislation has been promulgated to stipulate the procedures relevant to the transfer of people from one country to another. As you're aware, we have specific institutions that deal with some of these scenarios. We have the laws that govern even relationships with refugees and other people that are brought to another nation. Unfortunately, in this scenario, we have clear information that none of this has been followed. No one has been contacted. Typical of such suspicious arrangements, we have also learned about private contractors who are falling over themselves to cash in on the suffering of fellow human beings, whose crime is to have been arbitrarily deemed as undesirable and as such disposable to the most willing takers, regardless of whatever fate awaits them. And from what I'm saying, from what you're seeing, Uganda is one of those willing takers, benefiting from the suffering of other people. And again, like I said, these are specific individuals, like we're saying, these are private contractors who are not following any due process. And again, we have no idea where these people are being taken, what they're going to be used for, what they're going to do, and exactly who is in charge. And this should interest us as citizens of Uganda, as taxpayers. Now, this development and the attendant illegalities that accompany it are reminiscent of a dark past that the global family of humanity supposedly put behind itself in pursuit of the ideal that every human being is born equal in dignity and rights. In the United States, the militarization of society has given carte blanche like an open check, to capture democracies in Africa, to carry on with despotism unchecked. As African citizens, besides our professional duties as lawyers, this is yet another act of effrontery that places the continent and its people at the bottom of a perceived racial hierarchy that justifies untold suffering, wanton lawlessness, political instability, and perennial mistreatment that are the natural consequences of these kinds of state-sanctioned impunity, the manifestations of which abound in the Sahel, the Horn of Africa, the Congo, and elsewhere in the global south. Yet, as precious a situation we find ourselves in, as precarious a situation we find ourselves in, we are uplifted by the millions of Americans and Ugandans who have individually and collectively mobilized and organized at various levels and through different institutions to mount formidable pushbacks against rampant autocracy. These millions have marched, protested, published, sang, litigated, ran for elective office, and built social movements in defense of the democratic experiment. It is for this reason that as the Ugandan Society, as the Radical Nuba, we unreservedly assert our revulsion to this undertaking, which, if not confronted from the get-to-go, will be yet another unchallenged setback in the quest for a just, orderly, and open society. Towards a remedy, we have approached the courts of law in Uganda and in the region seeking bespoke reliefs designed to arrest this patent international illegality. We have since filed a case at the Civil Division, the main application challenging these acts, and also applications seeking injunctive orders to prevent this from happening. And to that end, we urge the media and the public to draw the attention of the national, regional, and continental publics and start discussion on this matter until it is either halted or reversed. Like I said in the beginning, as we are standing here talking, it could be happening. In fact, it is happening. We know these people could have touched soil at Entebbe Airport. And like I've been informed, they have arrived. We do not know the number, we do not know the identities, we do not know where they are going, and they are not being processed through proper channels, which is very dangerous. They are not going through immigration as they should, meaning we cannot even know their identities and what they are likely to do. I mean, they are considered undesirable in another state, yet these are human beings who are being treated as chattels, as property for exchange of money. Now, our perspective of the matter is broader than the single act of deportation. This is not just a deportation. We view it as but one gust from the ill winds of transnational repression that are blowing across our world, orchestrated, like I said, by the militants, by despots. We therefore invite the Ugandan and African public to interest itself in our modest effort at combating the collusion between the governments in Washington and Kampala and play their respective roles in challenging not just this particular deportation of human beings, but the broader authoritarian project for which such acts are a necessary feature. In the same breath, we implore the national and regional courts to consider our applications with the urgency and seriousness they deserve. Like I said, as of today morning, we filed the necessary court papers. We started on the court process, challenging this activity. And as you are aware, we've been making noise about the willingness of our courts to serve humanity, to deliver justice. And this being an urgent matter, we hope our courts, our judiciary will take keen interest and have these matters fixed and adjudicated upon with the urgency they deserve. because this cannot wait. Like I said, if we've sought an injunctive relief and we know the people are already en route, and then you realize even getting a date for an interim order is a problem, considering we are going to an Easter weekend, you can imagine the impact. It will be as if whatever we're doing, we're wasting time. Yet these institutions are there to provide redress in such scenarios like this one. So we do implore the courts to ensure that this is expedited and we achieve what we're supposed to achieve for a greater good. Over the coming days and weeks, pursuant to our mandate under Section 3D of the Uganda Law Society Act, we will continue updating you about the next steps in this campaign as we assert the sovereign rights of Uganda and the deportees who are enduring inhuman and degrading treatment at the hands of shadowy interests. Like we said, these are individual interests. And unfortunately, as Ugandans, we are not aware of all this that is happening. In the same breath, allow me also thank the East Africa Law Society and its leadership and some of our colleagues and members of the bar who accepted to offer a service to give back to society. Particularly, I'll thank our colleague Andrew Karamaji, who is in the house. And as you've heard, information is that these people have actually arrived. They are here in Uganda. And if we cannot get the necessary reliefs to either halt this process or reverse, it will be amiss of us to sit back and relax. So colleagues, that is the important announcement we needed to make as the Radical New Bar. But again, as I add, we still commit to continue fighting these vices, especially in this day and era where we must consider our 4 days, one of it being demilitarization, because this is really an action that points to that, nothing else. This is Uganda. It does not belong to individuals or specific people. It is our country. These are human beings we are dealing with. They are not chattels. They are not items. And they should be, or they must be treated with dignity. So we must demand accountability. And again, before I forget, allow me to thank the Fourth Estate, because this is where you come in. This is a very important area for us to keep pushing and demanding for answers in the quest for justice. I thank you all. Uganda? Oh, okay. Word by word. You want to help? Allow me to invite our colleague, our member of the Radical New Bar, Andrew Karamaji, to give us the Luganda version of this, because we have the majority of Ugandans who understand that language. Please, Andrew, you can join me and do for us the Luganda version. Thank you. Thank you.
I am ready when you are. Please let me know when you're ready.
They are.
Okay. Mwebale nnyo bannaffe abava mu kitongole ekitunulira ebyempuliziganya era ebyamawulire. Tuzze wano ngaffe aba ekitongole ekigatta abannamateeka mu Uganda okutegeeza eggwanga awamu ne Ssemazinga wa Africa olwannabe atuguddemu nga ava ku kukolagana okutali mu mateeka okuliwo wakati wa gavumenti eya America awamu ne gavumenti eya Uganda, nga bano bali balina kaweefube gwe balimu amenya amateeka aga Uganda n'ag'ensi yonna era n'ag'ekitundu kino kye tulimu ekya East Africa ey'omumakati ey'obuvanjuba, nga waliwo abantu be tutamanyiiko mannya oba omuwendo abaggiddwa mu ggwanga lya America, mu luzungu kiyite deportation, naye ng'eno deportation teyise mu mateeka, nga babatadde ku nnyonyi. Tusuze tugoberera ennyonyi eyo era yakatuuka abantu bano baleeteddwa bali ku kisaawe we twogerera nga ensonga ebaleese wano si ndala yonna wabula kubasuula wano tetumanyi bibakwatako ekitongole ekivunaanyizibwa ku by'entambula oba ku by'abannamawanga aba Uganda ministry ekwata ku by'amawanga amalala ne parliament nga tebabuuliddwa ku nsonga eno era teri kiwandiiko oba tteeka liyisiddwa okukwata ku nsonga eno ey'okuleeta bannamawanga wano betutamanyiiko muwendo betutamanyi mannya betutamanyi gye bava ate ng'engeri gye babaleeseemu ku mawulire ge twafunye nga ngeri evvoola eddembe ly'obuntu. Abantu bano babasibye enjegere era olugendo lwonna okuva America okutuuka wano bazze babasibye enjegere nga tolina we weekyusiza olugendo olwo luwanvu nnyo bano bantu naye okulaba nti ebitongole ebiteekeddwa okukuuma obuteefuteefu bw'abantu tebufuddeeyo kumanya kikiriwo era ne bwegatta mu nkola eno emenya amateeka aga Uganda n'amateeka ag'ensi yonna. Kino tetukiraba nga kintu kiyimiriddewo ng'ekintu ekivudde mu bbanga wabula tulaba nti bannakyemalira nga muno njaga kwogera ku bannakyemalira babiri Donald Trump awamu ne munne General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni bali mu kukwatagana mu kuvvoola eddembe ly'abantu era ng'eno ensonga y'emu eraga engeri amawanga ge twali tuyigirako demokrasiya ate kati gataddewo enkolagana n'amawanga oba n'abakulembeze bannakyemalira nga ffe okuggyako ekyokuba nti tuli bannayuganda oba ekyokuggyako nti tuli bannamateeka kitukwatako nti kati enfuga eno nefuga bbi kati lisusse Uganda kati bannakyemalira beeyagala bakola kye baagala si mu America yokka wabula ne wano mu Uganda era ng'embeera eno tugirabye ereeta obuzibu mu mawanga nga mu region eyitibwa Sahel eya West Africa mu Northern Africa era mugenze mulaba ebiriwo mu ggwanga nga Mozambique nga biva mu okwekubana kuno kwe tulaba wakati wa gavumenti zino ebbiri era weewaawo ffe nga bannamateeka nga twegattidde mu bitongole ebigatta bannamateeka ba Uganda awamu n'abannamateeka aba East Africa tuddukidde kooti eya Uganda era tugenda kuddukira ne kooti endala mu kitundu kino nga twekubira omulanga nga tukubira kooti zino omulanga ziyimirize bunnambiro enkola zino ezitali mu mateeka era ezigenda otuleetera obuzibu obutali bumu era mu nsonga eyo tusaba ab'ebitiibwa abalamuzi ensonga eno bagiwulirize bukubirire era balagirire gavumenti zino enkolagana zino zigibwewo era abantu bano baddizibweyo kubanga tebazze wano mu mateeka wabula kino kimenya eddembe lyabwe era kimenya amateeka ga Uganda. Uganda si nga Donald Trump bwe yayogera n'atuyita mu luzungu mu kigambo ekitayitika mu kamwa ng'ayogera ku mawanga nga Uganda. Uganda si kifo mw'oleeta n'osuula buli kyofunye kyoyagala kubanga ffe tuli mawanga agatakulaakulanye era tuvumirira ne kino ekya gavumenti yaffe okukkiriza nti Uganda ye kasasiro w'osuula buli muntu gw'otamanyi gw'otategedde. Eggwanga lino n'abantu abagibeeramu tulina okuweebwa ekitiibwa nga tetusobola kukkiriza nkola bweti. Mwebale nnyo.
Thank you, Andrew. Pozi n'okwongerako okwebaza Andrew Karamagina era tutegeddeko nti wadde tugambye nti waliwo ennyonyi etuuse tutegeddeko nti era waliwo group endala ziba planning okuleeta n'ekirala ekyetulina okukaka oba okugezaako okulwanira nti tulina okunoonyereza okulaga nti waliwo endagaano ezaakolebwa naye endagaano zino ffe nga bannayuganda tetuzimanyiiko, tetumanyi birimu, tetumanyi bazisayininga, tetumanyi ffe ng'eggwanga zitugasa ki. So era nakyo tusaaba tudimaninga nti endagaano ezo bentegeregana eri wakati wa gavumenti ya Trump n'eyaffe eveeyo teekebwe eri mu bantu, tubeere ffe nga bannayuganda tumanyi ki ekiri mu kuba naffe bitukwatako ng'abantu. I'll repeat that in English. Thank you very much, Andrew. You've heard the Luganda version. We've learned that this is the first flight, but there are plans of bringing more people whom we, like we've explained, do not know where they come from, what concerns them. And again, we're also, through intelligence, made to learn that there were some arrangements or agreements that were entered between the Trump government and our government, which the public is not aware of. So we demand that we must know the details of these agreements, because as Ugandans, we must know this. They affect us as Ugandans. It's important that we get to know the details of who are the parties in these agreements, how do they benefit us as Ugandans, as taxpayers, because we deserve this information by virtue of being Ugandan citizens. I thank you all once again, and thank you for listening to me. Yes. Kino kankiddemu nti wadde tugambye nti tugenze mu kooti ogezaako okunoonya